Hello and welcome back to the channel. So today we'll be continuing the previous lesson, that's consumerist culture. If you have not watched the first part, I request you to please go back to my channel and watch it. So let's continue with the lesson now. Advertisers and marketing professionals are working hard to see that even people who live at the subsistence level in remote rural pockets are lured and entrenched into becoming passive consumers of everything from cola drinks to shampoos. All they see is a vast rural market waiting to be opened up for commercial exploitation. We are fast approaching the day when it will be easier to get a bottle of Coke rather than tender coconut or buttermilk in most of our villages. The increasing presence of plastic garbage in our rural area is a clear warning signal. Here the advertisers and the marketing professionals, they're working very hard for what? That every person, every people in all part of the world, they too become the consumers of their product. From everything, from cola drinks to shampoos, everyone should be able to purchase it. They are making such advertisements, such marketing schemes, and all they see is a market value. They want commercial exploitation there. They want their business to grow. And we are fast approaching to the day where to get a bottle of Coke, it will be very easy. You will find it everywhere. But rather than tender coconut or buttermilk, it will be very difficult to find in most of our villages. Such the world is changing, and this can be seen as a warning signal when you see presence of plastic garbage in your areas. It is interesting to see the connection between all this and what is being drummed up as development by agencies like the World Bank, whose main objective is to make the way smooth for the unbridled expansion of the so-called free market economy into every corner of the globe. Enthusiasts of this vision of development are dreaming of a day when all of India will look like the United States with 2 cars in every garage and the reassuring glow of McDonald and Pepsi signs all along every highway. The final confirmation of our reaching the promised land will come on the day the sheer tonnage of the garbage we throw out, plastic cups, junked cars, refrigerators and TV sets, matches the levels of the land of the almighty dollar. When this happens, we will no longer be called a developing country, but will rejoice at the advanced West. Our teacher and role model finally certifies us as developed. It is to actualize this vision that millions of our youth are rushing to get their MBA degrees. Now, here the connection between all this is very clear. It's termed into a word called development. Everything is termed up to a word called development, that the country is developing. The enthusiast, a person who is very interested in all this, he has a vision of development. That's a dream that India should also look like the United States, where in every house there will be 2 cars, and in every highway there will be signs of McDonald's and Pepsi, completely like the West. And this promised land that these enthusiasts are thinking about, the vision that they are having, it will come on the day when you see sheer tonnage of the garbage that we throw, like the plastic cups, junked cars, refrigerators, TV sets, just like they have in a junkyard. Similarly, we will also have something like that. And when this happens, our teacher will not say that our country is developing country anymore, and we will be happy to say that it is a developed country, a advanced West. We have also become like them. And thinking about all this, many young students are rushing to get their MBA degrees so that they can have a good job, the only way out. But wait a minute, how practical is this vision? It has been estimated that to make this paradigm of development a reality for all of India and China, leaving aside other developing nations, the resources of planet Earth will prove horribly inadequate. We would need at least another 3 planets. It is clear then that this consumer paradise aggressively marketed by the giant global corporations will, besides paving the way for an ecological holocaust, prove to be what an irony, the most unworldly vision of all, simply because it will have run out of worlds before it is fully realized. All this vision and all is fine, but how practical is it? Can it be achieved? If you are taking the developing countries like India, China, leaving the other countries, even if you take all these, you will require resources to make it developed country. And the resources that you will need, which you have on planet Earth, will be very inadequate. It's not enough. To change our country into a developed country, you will need at least another 3 planets of resources, because this planet doesn't have enough resources in it. And it is very clear that if you are trying to have it converted into a developed country, we won't have the resources that's needed over there. And in case we are using all the resources of the planet, then it's going to be an ecological holocaust, which means that there will be a destruction ecologically, and that's gonna clear the entire world. So we have to realize about it. We have to keep our earth safe. It isn't hard to see then that any model of development based on simulating high consumption lifestyles through aggressive advertising and limitless market expansion is not only unsustainable but also highly dangerous for the well-being of humanity. The price paid in ecological terms will make it the most suicidal enterprise the human race has ever embarked upon. We desperately need alternative models of development. It is not a wise thing to hand over to businessmen the task of ruling the world as we have just done today. Businessmen cannot be counted upon to have the wisdom or the will to think of the welfare of all of humanity, leave alone the health of the planet. That is not part of the training of business administrators. They are mainly trained to do everything possible to maximize profits for the corporations that employ them. Now, in this paragraph, Cheriyan Alexander, he is trying to say that the price that we are paying right now in terms of development, it is a suicidal enterprise to our entire world. How? He is telling that we cannot hand over our development ideas to a businessman, and he cannot rule the entire world because they are not having the wisdom or the will to think about the welfare of entire humanity and also the health of the planet. They won't think. That's not a part of their training process. When they are learning business, they are trained to do everything possible to maximize their profits and to minimize their loss. And to whichever company they are being recruited, they have to think about their company, their corporations. Their main aim is to maximize the profits and not look after somebody's feelings or the health of the planet or the people. They are not worried about it. So here the writer is saying that we cannot hand over to a businessman the task of ruling the country, ruling the world. The only way to restore sanity is for local communities, cooperatives, civil societies, and democratic governments everywhere to take back the autonomy and the initiative for their own development, which they recently traded away to the giant global business corporations. There is now a great need to reawaken the numerous enabling spiritualities and wisdom traditions of the various people of the world. Mahatma Gandhi once said that the earth has enough for every man's need, but not enough for every man's greed. Now, the writer is saying that the only way to restore it is for the local communities, cooperatives, civil societies, and democratic governments to take back the autonomy, the initiative for their own development, which they have given to the giant global business corporations. Now, it is the great or the best time to reawaken the spiritualities and wisdom traditions of the various people of the world. We are being dependent on these multinational companies, but it's not needed. As a cooperative civil society, local communities, we all can get together and do something for the betterment of our own country. And the writer says that Mahatma Gandhi, he had once stated, it's a very famous quote of his, that the earth has enough for every man's need. Whatever you need, the earth has it, but not enough for every man's greed. All human beings have a right to the basic material requirements for a life of dignity, but there comes a point beyond which it is necessary to say enough to the merely material. Then one should turn to the commodities of the spirit, the arts, culture, community life, in order for life to be truly meaningful and sustainable. This is ultimately a spiritual and philosophical decision for both individuals and communities to make. Henry David Thoreau, the 19th century American philosopher, observed superfluous wealth can buy only superfluities. Money is not required to buy even one necessity of the soul. One can only hope that humanity can muster up enough soul force to contain the damage caused by unrestricted consumerism, lest we really shop till we drop and nothing of value is left standing on our beloved Mother Earth. So the writer is trying to say that it is our right to say enough to a merely material, to a material, when we say that it is enough, when it goes beyond a point or a limit. So we have the right for the basic material requirements, but if it is going more than that, then we have the right to say stop. We should turn towards the commodities of our spirit, our soul. What's that? Arts, culture, community life, to make our life exactly meaningful and sustainable. And it is a spiritual and philosophical decision, not just for you but also for the entire community. And an American philosopher, Henry David Thoreau, he says that money is not required to buy even one necessity of the soul. You need peace, you need hope, you need happiness. All this you cannot buy with money. Humanity can be mustered up, can be collected, can be united. So if we are just thinking about shop till we drop, the same sentence that was told, it doesn't have any value, and there won't be any value left on our beloved Mother Earth because everything will be destroyed. So we have to think about it. Our life, our health, our people, and our earth, everything depends on our thinking, because what's important is the satisfaction or the peace that we have for our soul. I hope you have understood this lesson. In case you have any doubts, you can comment below. Keep watching for more videos and do like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching.